Hi, I'm Eva, and this video we're going to talk about mindful pottery and mindfulness practices. For me, mindfulness practices have been the key in making my life much better, and it's the way I found my home. I think when I was young, I was really a lot in my head, and I was unhappy a lot, and I think the reason I chose this profession was that I needed to be grounded. I was really a monkey mind getting flipper up here. So pottery, and especially pottery wheel, has made me to be in the ground. And maybe this clay, I use local clay. So it has in English it's called white clay. So it has totally different touch than industrially made clays. And it's just a comfort to use that clay. You can really feel it in your fingers that it's different. Because at Arabia Ittala Center, I was teaching people using stoneware clay, which is industrially made. I don't find it pleasant at all. I find it just has a totally different feeling to my fingers. To me, it's something I needed. I don't know how to explain it. I think it is because if you use industrially made clay, it's so fine and there's nothing, I feel it's in the way dead. I mean, there's nothing alive in here, maybe some bacteria or something, but it's more pleasant to work with. It's very plastic, it has a lot of plasticity. So Anu, who makes the clay for me, she adds about 4% sand to it. And that's from the neighboring village, which is so nice. I can say that the clay is from Ojala field. I really love the idea that I know the origin of the material. And that's, to me, it's the mindfulness. First thing, that to be mindful is that you appreciate the people who make clay to you, and you know who they are. I think the best thing in doing pottery is the mindfulness aspect of it. It's to learn to find your center. And I mean, Hara center for me, I think it's Hara, and it's the same thing when you work with pottery. So there's different ways, and I'm not saying the way I teach pottery is the right way, but I want to teach in the mindfulness way, where you come to your Hara and start working with, and you breathe in here, and try to get out of here, because this is where we have all the talking. And I think in the society right now, people are very much in their head, but we have also heart and we have our stomach. Heart is the feeling, here is our intellectual capacity, what we need also. But here is our balance, and here is where we find the wisdom, I think. My stomach has always told me where we are going, but my head has told me a lot of times that I want the things to be in a certain way. I should have always listened this. And the pottery is a good way of finding your Hara. I think that the process is the thing. It takes you a long time to make good pottery. So if you would just go and learn to find your Hara and do things. Of course, when I have a course, we make a couple of flower pots, and it's fun to see they're a little bit wonky and fun. But then after that, usually people, they want to do everything. Immediately they want to have this and done and that. Even they don't know how to do. They make cup that's not pleasant to drink out, or plates are unpractical. So you should allow the time to find your stomach, and then you end up realizing that the process is the one that gives you peace and balance. The way I teach pottery, I try to teach the mindful way of pottery, because this is the way for me to connect with myself, with my true self. And for me, these mindfulness practices had brought me home. When I was young, I lived in many other countries, and I felt like an outsider everywhere. And then through mindfulness practices, I found my home, and I realized that it was here, inside of myself, all along. So the practice is to learn your center, and to find your center. And this is, you lose your center when you're trying pottery wheel for the first time. And how you can find your center is that you settle down to your stomach. This is where you find your home, here or here. You don't find it here. So that's why when you do pottery and you practice it, you can't think about anything else because it takes so much of your energy to learn it. And a lot of people, if you just settle down and breathe into your stomach before every movement, because there's different steps on doing pottery. If you just settle down, you get ahead much faster than you just be nervous. And I think it helps in everything. Now if I miss my drum and I find myself a little bit irritated, I say, oh, what a perfect place to do my mindfulness practice. And this is opportunity to me to stop and realize that everything is well. And so yeah. So I give these mindfulness pottery workshops. We do silent sitting before we start our work, where I talk about our belly center and how to connect with it when you do pottery, because it's easier. I think it's easier way to learn to do pottery. And before every class, we do 25 minutes silent sitting. Everybody can think of their own God. I'm not coming with any answers. I think everybody has their own answers within their own heart. Or I like to say in your stomach. And yeah, we do that, and then we do pottery practice. And I try to ease people because it is challenging when you're working with center of gravity. You can look at the YouTube first tries on the pottery wheel. You can see it's not that easy. But when you just get there, don't think about the outcome so much, but try to be present. And it's a fantastic experience when you start finding your center. So if you're interested in the pottery retreat, I'm waiting for you, and you're really welcome to come here in Helsinki. I keep the retreats once a month here at the studio in Kallio, and this neighborhood, I love my neighborhood. This is the creative district of Helsinki. You come here easily with tram and buses.